There's a ghost in our village, and it wants blood. I've seen it. We all have. But no one dares to talk about it anymore because if you speak of it, it will come for you. That's what they say. That's what happened to my father. I was just a boy when it first came. It was a normal evening, or at least it seemed like one. The air was warm, the sun had just gone down, and the stars were starting to peek out. I was sitting outside our house with my father, like we always did, listening to the stories he loved to tell. Stories about the old days, about our people, about things that seemed far away from our quiet life in the village. But that night, something felt wrong. It was too quiet. You could feel it in the air, like the world was holding its breath. Usually, you'd hear the crickets, or the chatter from the houses nearby, but there was nothing. Just silence. I remember my father's voice trailing off mid-sentence. He just stopped talking and stared out into the darkness. I thought he was playing with me, trying to scare me like he sometimes did, but there was something in his eyes that made me freeze. His face went pale, and his hands started to shake. Then he whispered, "Go inside." I didn't understand. "Why?" I asked. He didn't answer, just kept staring into the dark. Then I saw what he was looking at. At first, it was just a shape, something moving between the trees. I thought it was a person, but then I realized it was something else, something wrong. It was darker than the night, so dark it felt like it swallowed the shadows around it. The way it moved, it wasn't natural. It was too slow, but at the same time, too smooth, like it was floating just above the ground. The cold hit me next. It wasn't like the cool breeze of the night. No, this was different. It was the kind of cold that sinks into your bones, that makes you feel like your blood is turning to ice. I could feel it crawling under my skin, numbing my fingers, making it hard to breathe. I wanted to run, but I couldn't move. My legs were frozen, like they were glued to the ground. All I could do was watch as the thing came closer. Its body was long, unnaturally tall, with limbs that seemed too thin, too stretched. And its face, there wasn't a face. But somehow, I knew it was looking at me. I could feel its eyes, invisible but burning, staring straight into me. Into my soul. My father grabbed me, his grip so tight it hurt. He pulled me up, dragging me inside the house. He slammed the door behind us, bolted it, and pushed the heavy wooden chair against it. We sat in the corner, huddled together. He was muttering under his breath, words I couldn't understand, praying to the ancestors, begging for their protection. Then we heard it. Footsteps. Slow, heavy, like something huge was walking just outside. Each step made the floor shake, the walls groan. I could hear the sound of the leaves crunching under its feet, the dry grass being crushed. It was circling the house, its shadow passing the windows, blotting out the moonlight. The cold in the room grew worse. My breath was visible in the air, and my fingers were turning numb. My father kept muttering, his voice shaky, but he wouldn't let go of me. Then the footsteps stopped. For a moment, everything went silent. Even my father stopped praying. We just sat there, staring at the door, waiting. The door creaked. Just a little. It didn't open fully, but it moved. My heart was pounding in my chest so hard I thought it might burst. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. I wanted to run, but I couldn't. I blacked out after that. Maybe it was fear, or maybe something else, but I don't remember what happened next. When I woke up, the room was quiet again. The door was wide open, and my father was gone. They found him 2 days later, deep in the forest, far from the village. His body was twisted in ways that didn't make sense, like his bones had been broken and reshaped. His face was frozen in terror, his eyes wide open, staring at nothing. The elders said it was the Isitanzala, the shadow ghost. They say it's the spirit of someone who died in pain, someone who was wronged in life and can't find peace. It doesn't rest. It wanders the land at night, looking for someone to take. Someone to drag into the darkness. After my father's death, the village changed. People became afraid of the night. They started leaving offerings at the edge of the forest, food, clothes, anything they thought might appease the ghost. But it didn't work. The ghost kept coming back. And each time someone saw it, someone else would disappear. It's been years now, but the fear never goes away. Some nights, when the air feels too still, and the crickets fall silent, I know it's out there, watching. Sometimes, I hear the footsteps again, slow and heavy, outside my door. And the cold, it always comes with the cold. The kind of cold that wraps around you like death itself. We don't talk about it anymore, not out loud. But everyone knows. Everyone in the village has seen it, felt it. And every time someone disappears, we bury them quickly, hoping the ghost will be satisfied. Hoping it won't come for us next. But deep down, I know it's only a matter of time. The ghost is patient. It doesn't forget. It waits in the shadows, watching, hunting. And one day, it will come for me, just like it came for my father.